It is a memoir and a childhood journey that will inspire you in really countless ways. It is also health insights that could help children in countless ways. Author Therese Griffin and Tanya Pollack are joining us now to talk about this book, Are You Hearing Me? So great to have you here today. This is such an interesting book. I mean, this dynamic is really hard to put into words. But first let's talk about what inspired you to write it.
Well, all my life I struggled with reading. I got out of grade school and high school with D's, C's, and F's, and mostly D's and F's. And I just couldn't read. I knew the subject, but to pass a written exam, I got maybe 38, 48, 68. I just barely made it through grade school and high school. So I just thought I had poor comprehensive. So I just thought I'd be a factory worker all my life.
So you're doing this to help children. There's so many children out there. It's like
because
a
I
secret.
helped myself, and even in grade school, the two teachers in 4th and 5th grade said to my best friend, why don't you help Therese learn how to read? You're a straight A student. And I'll never forget her. It was like a deer in the headlights. I don't know how. But they didn't know what was going on.
Right. They couldn't identify it, which is relevant today because there's so many kids that are going through this and sometimes suffering in silence because they can't put it into words, maybe with their parents. So how did you develop your own special accommodations?
Well, it was just odd the way I did it. I remember I was 19 working in a factory at Libby's Foods, and I was involved in the union. This one guy read a paragraph, and I'm like, that's not what that says. And he goes, so he read it out loud, and I'm reading it, and I'm going,
it doesn't.
Then I realized some of the words were missing or this or that. So then after that, if I was going to read, I rarely ever read, but if I was going to read, I would have to read a paragraph at least 5 times. I thought it was that I couldn't stay focused, or it was a comprehensive bit. I didn't realize I wasn't seeing these words.
Right.
They were missing. In fact, I give an example like a V. I'm going to use a simple sentence. I am going to the store. I would have got up in school and went, I am a store. All the other kids would have laughed, and the teacher would have said, you're a clown. But I missed the middle part, going to. I can see out and the other.
Right.
But after I met Dr. Tanya, then I was able to go from a V. I can read the whole box now.
And so you sought her out on your
Yes.
own. And what was that like? And Doctor, for you especially, how did that relationship start and then turn into writing the foreword for the book?
Well, you know, the first time that Therese came to me, I was so inspired by her willingness to want to get better. You know, and that's what we find is they're trying to get better. They're trying to improve their abilities. And so, you know, she had trouble tracking. She had trouble with bringing her eyes in and being able to converge her eyes to one target. Words did move on a page, and I could see from that processing system. And that's the message that we're trying to get out, is it's so much more, vision is so much more than 20/20 acuity. The other piece is that the majority of children that have learning disabilities and that have been concussed have visual issues. 50 to 90%, it's huge.
Right.
Absolutely, and vision is learned. And that's the success that Teresa and I are really trying to get out through her, you know, her book of identifying that we can find these children and we can make a difference.
Right, and you're so brave to come out and to do this and to seek help for this because, you know, there is a stigma with it. I think as you get older, you don't want to say, you know what, this has been going on for a really long time.
Well, and people didn't understand because I did end up getting a degree, my bachelor's, my master's, and a licensed addiction counselor. But some of those I failed the license test 3 times until I figured out mine. But one of the things I figured out for my own special accommodation when I started my master's, I had a friend that was taking the same class for addiction. She read the whole textbook from page 1 to 21, 22 to 38, and the whole. And then I would listen to it in the car on a cassette. I looked for professors who were good lectors.
Right.
And,
so you can be an audio learner.
And that was it. So I knew it up here, but I just couldn't pass a written test. And when I went to Dr. Tanya, I got caught at work by, we always had training on hand. I'm a chaplain, and all of a sudden I went on the computer, and then I couldn't. I flunked a test 4 times that I could teach.
Well, this is inspirational, educational, and it's going to help a lot of people. So thank you so much for doing this, because it has been such a personal and emotional journey for you. And Doctor, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Good to have you here. Therese is having a book signing on Saturday, October 5th at Mostly Books. For more information on her work, you can visit theresegriffin.com.